10 songs, 1 year, 1974, and every one of them still has the power to break you before the chorus even hits. You know that feeling? Radio's on, you're driving, not even thinking about it, and then that first note lands, and suddenly you're somewhere else. Somebody you lost, somebody you're still waiting on. Stay with me. By the end of this list, you'll understand exactly why. Number 10. Then Came You, Dionne Warwick and the Spinners. Here's what people forget. By the time this song came out, Dionne Warwick wasn't exactly riding high anymore. The hits with Burt Bacharach, those were a few years behind her. The radio had started moving on without her. And if you've ever poured everything into something for years, built your whole identity around it, and then watched the world quietly stop calling, you know that particular kind of fear. The fear that maybe your best moment already happened and you missed knowing it at the time. Then the Spinners called. Tom Bell put them in the studio together in April of '74, Sigma Sound, Philadelphia. The room where half this list was born, honestly. Two artists who weren't supposed to need saving, both quietly needing exactly that. And what came out of that session wasn't some calculated comeback single. It was a song about a love showing up right when you'd stopped looking for it, right when you'd made peace with being alone. That's the thing about Then Came You that gets me. The joy in it isn't innocent joy. It's relieved joy. It's the sound of somebody who already grieved the version of their life where this never happened, and then it happened anyway. By that July, it was number one, her first number one ever. After all those Bacharach years, all those Grammy nominations, all those almost but not quite hits, it took a Philly soul group and a Tom Bell production to finally get her there. And here's what's wild. Some people still hear this as just a sweet little love song, a wedding song, background music. But underneath that horn section is a woman who thought her time had passed, finding out it hadn't, that she still had a then. That kind of joy, the kind that shows up after you've already grieved giving up on something, isn't just happiness. It's relief wearing happiness's clothes. And it doesn't get less emotional just because the ending is good. Number 9, I'm Coming Home, the Spinners. Now here's something most people don't know going in. This song wasn't written for the Spinners first. Tom Bell and Linda Creed wrote it a year earlier in 1973 for Johnny Mathis, a song about a man burned out on fame, disillusioned with the whole industry grind, just wanting to go home to whoever's still waiting for him there. And when Bell and Creed sat Mathis down to talk about his real feelings for the song, he didn't really have an answer. Nobody had ever written for him like that before, so he made something up, just to have something true enough to sing. Mathis' version did become a number 1 hit on the easy listening chart, actually, but on the pop chart, it barely cracked the top 80. Quiet success, not the kind that changes anything. A year later, the The Spinners got hold of it. And Philippe Wynne, that voice, that ad-libbing, that ache underneath the smoothness, he didn't just sing the lyrics, he lived inside them. Suddenly a song about industry burnout became something bigger, something about anybody who's ever been far from where they actually belong. If you were in your mama's kitchen on a Sunday in '74 with the radio going while she cooked, you already know how this one sounds drifting through a house. It doesn't demand your attention. It just sits there in the room with you, quietly devastating while life keeps happening around it. Here's what gets me about this one. Mathis sang it like a man performing relief. The Spinners sang it like men who'd actually felt the weight of being gone too long and finally put it down. It climbed to 18 on the pop chart, 3rd on the R&B chart. Not their biggest hit, not even close. But ask anybody who grew up with this song which version actually makes them feel something. And they're not picking the original. Sometimes the truth of a song isn't written into it. It gets sung into it later by somebody who actually meant it. Real talk. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 8, Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. The main ingredient. Cuba Gooding Sr. sings lead on this one. The man whose son would grow up to win an Oscar, though nobody in that booth knew that yet. But here's what you need to know about Cuba first. He wasn't the original lead singer of this group. That was a man named Donald McPherson. And in 1971, McPherson got sick, leukemia. He was 29 years old, gone within months. The group, they shoot Tony Sylvester and Luther Simmons. They'd grown up with him in Harlem, built this whole thing with him, and then he was just not there anymore. So when Cuba Gooding steps up to that microphone 3 years later and sings about being terrified of being alone, that's not an actor reading lines. That's a man who already knows exactly what an empty room sounds like after somebody's gone. Now, the song itself, written by Bobby Eli, John Freeman, and Vinnie Barrett, wasn't even written for the main ingredient first. Ronnie Dyson cut it in '73. Barely scraped the charts. Most people never even heard that version. It took the main ingredient to turn it into something that sold 1 million copies and went gold. Keep that songwriting team in your head, by the way. Eli and Barrett. You're going to hear their names again before this list is over. But what makes this one land, what makes it different from just another pretty ballad, is the specificity of the fear in it. It's not I miss you. It's I don't want to wake up by myself. There's a difference. One is about losing somebody. The other is about what's left of you once they're gone. Whether that fear came from heartbreak or from a group that had already buried one of their own. I'll let you sit with that. It hit number 10 on the pop chart, number 8 on the R&B chart, sold 1 million copies. And underneath all of it, a man who already knew loneliness wasn't a feeling. It was a fact he'd lived through once already. Number 7, I've Got to Use My Imagination. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Early 1974. A year before this, Gladys Knight walked away from Motown. After everything. After all those years of being talented enough, successful enough, but never quite the priority. Because Diana Ross was always going to be the priority. And if you've ever done everything right at a job, given everything you had, and still watch somebody else get the spotlight you'd earned, you know that particular kind of quiet resentment, the kind you don't even say out loud. So she left, signed with Buddha Records instead, and the album that came out of that decision, Imagination, turned out to be the best work of her career. This song wasn't written for her, technically. Jerry Goffin wrote it. Same Jerry Goffin who, with Carole King, wrote half the soundtrack of the 1960s. Will You Love Me Tomorrow? Natural Woman. The man understood heartbreak on a professional level, basically. But listen to what Gladys does with his words. The song is about a woman whose man is gone, and instead of falling apart, she decides to just pretend he isn't. Imagine the relationship is fine. Imagine the love is still there, because the alternative, actually facing it, is too much. And if you're nodding right now, you already know. You've done this. Told yourself a story that wasn't quite true because the truth was unbearable that week. Here's the part that's almost sneaky, though. Gladys doesn't sing it like a woman in denial. She sings it like a woman in control. Like the imagining itself is an act of strength, not weakness. That's the trick of this whole record. It sounds almost happy, upbeat, and it's actually one of the saddest songs on this entire list. Dressed up so well you almost miss it. It went number 1 on the R&B chart. Number 4 pop. Sold over 1 million copies. Proof that leaving Motown wasn't the end of her story. It was where her story actually started sounding like her own. Number 6, You Make Me Feel Brand New. The stylistic words could not. Summer of 1974. This is the same Linda Creed who wrote I'm Coming Home back at number 9, by the way. Her and Tom Bell again. And honestly, this might be the most quietly devastating song on this entire list, and most people don't even clock it as sad at all. Here's the story behind it. Bell had one hard rule when he and Creed wrote together: no religion in the lyrics. Too risky, too specific, might alienate somebody. So when Creed turned in this song with the line, God bless you, sitting right there in it, Bell tore into her about it. Broke the rule, he said. Fix it. And Creed told him something he wasn't expecting. She said she'd written the song about him, about what he'd given her, the chance, the partnership, the way he'd basically remade her entire career. The God bless you wasn't decoration. It was the most honest line in the whole thing. Bell let it stay. Said later he felt like a heel for yelling at her about it. So every time Russell Tompkins Jr. hits that falsetto, You make me feel brand new. That's not a man singing to a woman. That's a songwriter thanking the person who saved her career in the only language she had that actually meant something. Here's the part that's hard, though.
Whenever I was in.
Years later, Linda Creed got sick, breast cancer, and she kept writing anyway, all the way through it. One of the songs she wrote in that fight became The Greatest Love of All, recorded first by George Benson, then years after that by Whitney Houston.
You make me feel brand new.
Creed died in April of 1986 at 37. Just weeks before Whitney's version hit number one. She never got to see it. So this song, this sweet, grateful, falsetto-drenched love song that climbed to number 2 in the summer of '74, it's actually a woman thanking somebody for giving her a life worth living, written by a woman who didn't get to live very much of it. Number 5, When Will I See You Again? The 3 Degrees.
When will I see you again?
Sheila Ferguson hated this song. Flat out hated it.
When will I see you?
When Gamble and Huff first played it for her, she called it insulting. Said it took no talent to sing something that simple.
When will I see you again?
She wanted something with more range, more vocal fireworks, something that proved what she could actually do. They made her record it anyway. And if you've ever fought against doing the thing that ended up defining your entire life, you understand exactly how that feels. Not the version where you're proven right. The version where you're proven completely, humiliatingly wrong in the best possible way. Because When Will I See You Again became the biggest hit of the 3 Degrees career. Number 1 in the UK for 2 weeks straight. Number 2 in America, kept out of the top spot only by Kung Fu Fighting, of all things. Fourth best-selling single in the entire UK that year. If you slow dance to this at somebody's wedding reception in 1974, you remember exactly how the room felt when it came on.
When will our hearts beat together?
That hush before the chorus. Everybody pulling a little closer, not even meaning to. What makes the song ache, though, isn't the melody. It's the question itself.
Precious moments.
When will I see you again? Not I'll see you again. Not even I hope I'll see you again. Just the question sitting there unanswered the whole way through. 3 years before this song, the 3 Degrees were just background singers in a movie nightclub scene in The French Connection. Nobody in that theater knew their names. Within just a few years, Prince Charles himself was calling them his favorite group. Sheila Ferguson was wrong about a lot of things that day in the studio, but she sang it like she meant it anyway. And maybe that's the whole secret. Sometimes the truest performances come from artists who didn't even believe in the song yet.
Are we in love?
Number 4, Sideshow, Blue Magic. Remember those names. Bobby Eli, Vinnie Barrett from number 8. Same 2 songwriters, same year, 2 different songs, 2 different groups, both landing on this very list. That's not common.
So let the sideshow begin.
That's a songwriting team having one of the great unrepeatable runs in soul music history. And here's what's striking about this one specifically. They open the entire song with a circus fanfare, literally. The first 10 notes are slowed down circus music, that entrance of the gladiators tune you've heard at every circus you've ever been to without knowing its name.
Right on in, can't afford to pass.
and over it, a voice does the full Carnival Barker routine. Hurry, hurry, step right up, like you're being invited into a tent to gawk at something. And then the punchline lands, see the saddest show in town for only 50 cents.
Man with the broken heart, you see that he...
That's the whole song's thesis, stated outright in the first 8 seconds. The singer is the sideshow, his own broken heart on display, admission free, well, almost free.
So pass it by, guaranteed to make you cry.
He's literally comparing himself to a circus freak because of what heartbreak did to him. There's something almost embarrassingly honest about that.
So bad, see the girl.
Most heartbreak songs hide the shame in metaphor. This one puts a Barker's megaphone on it. You know what's worse than just being sad? Being sad in public. Being the spectacle.
Sideshow begin, let's hurry, hurry.
That's the specific humiliation this song is naming, and it's one almost nobody else in soul music had the nerve to put into words quite this directly.
Who has lost the only love she ever had?
It sold over 1 million copies, went #1 on the R&B chart that April. Billboard ranked it the 19th biggest song of the entire year. And then, Blue Magic never crossed over to the pop mainstream quite like this again.
Cost you 50 cents to see.
Other singles did fine on the R&B side, but this was the one moment the whole country was watching the Sideshow too. One song, one shot, and they used it to tell the truth about humiliation better than almost anybody else on this list. Number 3, Distant Lover, live, Marvin Gaye. This one isn't really about the song, it's about a single night. January 4th, 1974. Oakland Coliseum, 14,000 people in the building, and Marvin Gaye is backstage, terrified. By this point in his career, he'd developed real stage fright, bad enough that before he'd go out himself, he'd send his younger brother Frankie out first, just to test how the crowd reacted, just to make sure it was safe to be seen. If you've ever had to send someone else out ahead of you just to make sure the room wouldn't hurt you, you understand a very particular kind of fear that has nothing to do with talent, but he went out. And partway through the set, he slowed the music down, started talking to the crowd, almost confessional, about love and loss and being left. And then he eased into Distant Lover, a song that had been a Quiet album cut the year before, barely noticed as a B-side. What happened next, nobody could have scripted.
Gaze out my window, sugar down.
The crowd didn't just cheer, they screamed, a wall of it. Thousands of voices, mostly women just losing themselves completely the second his falsetto landed.
So many miles away.
Some of y'all have heard this recording before and you already know the sound I'm talking about. That's not stage noise. That's an entire room being emotionally unmade in real time, on tape, forever. It became his signature moment. Every tour after this, he'd perform Distant Lover the exact same way, and the exact same thing would happen every single time until his final shows in the early 80s. Here's the part that's hard to sit with, though. 10 years later, Marvin Gaye was shot and killed by his own father, one day before his 45th birthday. So when you go back and listen to that recording now, 14,000 strangers screaming with love for a man who didn't yet know what waited for him a decade later, it hits different. It's not just a great live performance anymore. It's a room full of people loving someone as hard as they possibly could while there was still time. Number 2, The Love I Lost, Harold Melvin and the Blue Note. By 1974, you couldn't escape this one.
But something went wrong.
Teddy Pendergrass takes lead here. 23 years old with a voice that sounded like it had already lived 3 lifetimes. And here's the thing, almost nobody clocks the first 100 times they hear this song.
Oh no. But the good time we used to shine.
It started its life as a ballad, slow, mournful. Gamble and Huff wrote it that way originally. Then somebody decided to speed it up. Add drummer Earl Young's 4 on the floor beat underneath it.
Was a sweet love.
Turn heartbreak into something you could dance to. And it worked. It worked almost too well. People all over the country were out on dance floors, moving their bodies to a song about devastating loss. And most of them probably never even processed what Teddy was actually saying.
That you and I could make it on through.
The love I lost was a better love. That's not a celebration. That's grief with a backbeat. People would later call this one of the greatest dance records ever made, and it absolutely is. It's also one of the saddest, hiding in plain sight inside a groove nobody could sit still for.
Loved each other, we just couldn't get along. Take a good look.
Whether that's the song tricking you or the song being honest about how grief actually works, how you can be devastated and still moving, still functioning, still out there dancing through it. I'll leave that with you. It sold over 1 million copies, hit number 1 R&B, helped invent disco basically, before disco even had a name yet.
I can't remember nothing, no.
Teddy left the group the next year for a solo career that made him one of the biggest voices in music. And then, in 1982, a car accident left him paralyzed from the waist down.
I can remember planning, building my home.
He kept performing anyway. From a wheelchair, for the rest of his career, that same voice, undiminished. Some losses you dance through, some you sing through, no matter what they take from you. Number 1, Living for the City, Stevie Wonder. If you only remember one story from this entire list, let it be this one. This isn't a song about a breakup. It's not about a lover who left or a love that got away. It's about a young black man who leaves home in the South with nothing but hope, arrives in New York City, and within minutes gets framed and arrested by police for a crime he didn't commit. The whole thing plays out in real time in the music with sound effects, with voices, like a documentary you can't look away from. And here's what gets me about it. Stevie Wonder wrote every note, played every instrument himself, wrote every lyric, and he's blind. He has never once in his entire life seen a single street, a single building, a single police car in any city he's ever sung about. And somehow this song still paints one of the most vivid, devastating pictures of urban America that's ever been put on record. He didn't need his eyes to see what was happening to people who looked like him. He just needed to listen.
Go back to the van.
For that arrest scene in the middle of the song, that voice barking, "Get in that cell." That's not an actor. That's a janitor who worked at the studio. Stevie asked him to say the line because he wanted it to sound real. Not performed, real. It won him the Grammy for Best R&B Song. The album it came from, Inner Visions, won Album of the Year, the first time a black artist ever took home that award. Stevie stood on that stage in 1974 with his younger brother and sister beside him and called them the future for tomorrow for all people. And here's the part that should give you chills. 14 years later, a young hip-hop group called Public Enemy sampled that exact arrest scene, that exact get in that cell line on one of their own songs about the same fight Stevie was singing about back in 1973. Same injustice, new generation, still happening. That's why this is number one. Not because it's the saddest love song, because it's the truest one. Stevie Wonder sat in a studio, unable to see the world he was describing, and somehow saw all of it anyway. It made an entire country stop and listen.